What's going on, everybody? Christopher Toro here, and welcome to Glorified Games, the channel where we talk about game-related things and sometimes other stuff. Now, there's been a lot going on with the microtransaction controversy lately. Parts of the world like the UK and China are trying to pass laws on microtransactions, considering them a gambling act. This law, of course, entails that EA remove any microtransactions in their current game, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and any game they make in the future, directly impacting their revenue, no doubt. And according to statistical researchers, DLC and microtransactions make up the majority of video game revenue. So this could definitely mean trouble for EA down the road, considering how they were referencing microtransactions in the past, making it seem like they hit a goldmine. And if you're wondering if they really thought it was right or wrong, consider their latest actions of blocking crucial content from Battlefront 2, like Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader, just to enable kids and gamers alike to buy points to afford those characters and not waste any of their time. If you don't know the story, in order to unlock Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader, it would take more than 100 hours just to unlock those two characters, not to beat the entire game. But there were some pieces of content that were locked from the story just to enable players to buy in-game points with their own money. This act was seen first in Shadows of War, where microtransactions directly affected the story, but weren't pushed as hard as EA pushed it. Surprisingly, instead of starting a whole terrible precedent for the video game industry, players and lawmakers shut it down almost right away, calling it gambling, saying that those addictive attributes to the game were borderline illegal, calling anything that's addictive and that costs you actual money gambling. And I absolutely agree with that. I'm on the side with the lawmakers, and EA definitely was pushing it with Battlefront 2. I didn't even look at Battlefront 1 because of what I heard about it, how they cut content and how there was just way too much DLC to justify buying the game. I don't support those kind of games, and I never will. And of course, I know people that spend tons of money on gold coins or any kind of loot boxes in game, and I always shake my head at them and I say that that kind of business practice is for fools and for desperate people. And apparently the rest of the world did not even know about this because parents and corporations seem to be very alerted by the existence of microtransactions and what it's doing. If I were a parent, I would just be alerted by the straight fact that it was affecting my wallet, but it seems like there are addictive attributes and gambling elements to this. That part surprised me the most. Not that I don't agree with it, but jumping to that kind of extreme, calling microtransactions gambling, I hope the law passes for it, but I do wonder if it is 100% correct calling it gambling. Now, generally, microtransactions are a way for free-to-play games to get some kind of revenue, but as of late, they've been implemented into AAA titles and AA titles, calling them DLC or loot boxes or XP boosts. Now, of course, that's a shady business practice, but what none of us could predict is that so many people would be going against this so quickly. Now, of course, it did take some time. This has been a long year. I mean, just looking back at this year, I can't believe it's been the same year so many of these things have happened. So there has been quite a big transition to this point. And I do hope the law passes, and I hope EA learns from this mistake. Now, of course, you could lend it all to the fact that microtransactions were beginning to become a trend, especially to free-to-play and cell phone games. Seeing their revenue, EA probably wanted some of that. As a business, they jumped to that opportunity. But here is the only negative way it could affect us. If microtransactions in a AAA title are considered gambling, then there is a big chance that these AAA companies are going to stick with cell phone games and free-to-play and not make as many AAA games as they should. Chances are we won't be seeing a Battlefront 3 if this goes badly. Now, I hope I'm wrong about this, but it seemed like the main incentive to make AAA titles as well polished as they are was to implement microtransactions, and it seemed like the biggest portion of revenue was coming from those microtransactions. If you take those away, will there be AAA titles for us? Will console games make as much money as they should? I guess we'll find out in the coming year. It seems like a lot is going to change come 2018, and I really hope it's going to change for the better, but there are tons of reasons why we should be cautious of 2018. Now, it seems like it's going to be good for us, and I really do hope that microtransactions will just fully disappear, and they won't be implemented in a shady and clever way, and I hope AAA titles will continue to be developed. It seems like the war between consumer and publisher is coming to an end. Hopefully this all gets settled in a civil way and we still get the AAA games that we want. EA has definitely put themselves in a pretty nasty corner With lawmakers and part of the world looking down at them, there's no doubt they'll have the incentive to change. And it seemed almost instant that the microtransactions in Battlefront 2 disappeared, and I doubt it'll come back. They said it will temporarily be gone. It seems like they're trying to push to at least get that game's microtransactions to be re-enabled, but I doubt it'll pass. It's just really hard to believe that the topic of kids and gambling is a thing these days. And it's even crazier to consider that it came from such big companies. It seems that's the theme as of late, money over people. I sure hope that theme doesn't carry over to next year. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you're having a good one. Later.